Welcome to The Energized Hairdresser, the wellness podcast for stylists who are ready to stop running on empty and start fueling their body, mind, and business with energy that actually lasts. I'm your host, Ashley Jo Gillen, certified health coach and lifelong hairdresser with over 20 plus years behind the chair. Here we blend salon life with practical nutrition, wellness, and mindset coaching designed for real demands of stylist life. Each episode gives you simple tools you can use between clients, honest conversations about the industry, and encouragement you need to take care of you so you can show up energized, confident, and balanced behind the chair. If you're tired of running on caffeine and chaos, you are in the right place. All right, let's get into today's episode. Hello, and welcome back to The Energized Hairdresser. How's everyone's week going, whatever day this is that you're choosing to tune in? I have some busy weeks coming up, maybe. I don't know, like not busy, but I'm excited. Today, as I'm recording this, it's like what I would call like Western Easter. And I kind of share a little bit about like personally, like what's going on in my world on my stories on Instagram, because you gotta have your niche. But anyway, today, so I'm an Orthodox Christian and like today was our Palm Sunday. And then this coming week is like Holy Week. And, I'm looking forward to it. Usually I take very minimal clients during Holy Week, so I have, like, plenty of time to go to services because between, like, services and sports, it's a lot. So I'm looking forward to this coming week. But today, we're gonna talk about kinda going back to my unstructured series of how systems. I'm talking on Instagram a lot about systems. And so today we're going to talk about 5 salon systems that make your day run better. Who would have thought? I'm all about it. Salon systems are going to protect your energy. They're going to reduce decision fatigue. They're going to create more calm in your day. And they're going to help you stop running into like every shift in reaction mode. I just got my nails done. So if you can see me, I will be showing those nails off because duh. So if your salon day always feels very rushed, chaotic, a little bit frantic, maybe even at times, maybe the life that you get to live before you walk into the salon feels, maybe it's full of tension, maybe it's full of just very detailed things. Like maybe you got to get your kids to school. Maybe you got to get yourself ready. You got to get your spouse out the door. Like there's so many things that go into what happens before the salon because lots of times, I don't want to assume, but generally, if we're starting at 8 a.m., but like maybe we're starting at like 9 or 10. So you have like morning. I don't start till 10, but still you have things to do in the morning. So if your salon day always feels rushed or chaotic or more exhausting than it should, it may not be because you need to try harder. We need to build systems into your life. Now, I just want to state these are some suggestions. I bet you already have some systems in your life that you are doing. We just want, I want to maybe point out some things and then ideally build confidence into what your routine already is. So because when your whole day feels like it lives in your head, everything's going to feel heavier. Everything's going to feel a little bit more chaotic. We got to get it out of your head and get it on paper. That's why I love a brain dump, especially for hairdressers or a thought download or whatever word you want to use, because once you get ideas out of your head, then they're separate from you. If they live in your head all the time, then they're going to be swirling around there. Probably why one of the ways we cope, me as an ADHD individual who's just trying to live her best life, one of the ways we cope is I'll buy a new planner or I'll buy a new notebook. It's a way to get everything out of your head. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about this. Let's set the stage. This isn't about doing anything perfectly. Okay, one of the things that I have embraced in this past year from April of 25 to April now of 26 is all or something. Cannot believe that in my of life, like all of the life coaching I went through, the health coaching, all of the business classes I've taken, and I was at my friend's house and her and her mom, they run a therapeutic horse ranch. And this was like right after I was diagnosed with my autoimmune. And we were still in the process of like building our house. And my youngest was, I mean, he was walking, but every Tuesday I would go, she had a women's group. And I have always been searching for this moment in my life where I would call it the montage moment, where a montage would happen and you would, like in the movies. Okay. Sorry, my family just left my house. Okay. In the movies, there was like the moment where, okay, let's just use like Legally Blonde. She gets into Harvard. Like there was a montage that happens for her to get into Harvard. And then after like her like costume party scene, then she's like buys the computer and she's like, I'll show everyone how valuable Elwoods can be. And like the music plays and she gets her life together and she gets it done. She becomes an attorney. Right. Time passes, music plays, and all these clips. And I have been waiting for that moment forever for my life. And my friend's mom, who's a licensed therapist, said, oh, so like perfection. So perfectionism. And I'm like, no, that's not what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for everything to be perfect. And that's when it hit me that I'm a perfectionist. Can't believe I didn't see that before. So, setting the stage to this is not about doing anything perfectly. It's about all or something. Because when we strive for perfection and we do not achieve it, are you going to keep going? If you're me, you're probably gonna be like, well, I already failed, so I might as well just keep on going, keep on doing nothing. And then that builds because you're not living with integrity of who you want to be. So then once it builds, you're then spiraling out of control until you've had enough. And then you buy a new notebook and then you start all over. Okay. So all or something. So I mean real life systems for your life as a hairdresser with real clients, real interruptions, real life happening in the background. Because the truth is salon life takes a lot out of you. You're making decisions all day long. We're talking, we're formulating, we're processing, we're standing still. We got our arms up, like trying to squeeze in your own needs around everyone else. So, this is why systems. We need systems to prioritize our health inside the salon. So then we don't have to think about it. And this is not about being strict, it's about support, all or something. So, I just kind of, casually dumped some of my own life experiences in there, but like I do feel like it matters. I mean, I don't know if anybody else is like waiting for that moment, but you know. Anyway, so systems are what we're going to be talking about. So I have learned that the more I can take off of my brain before the day starts, even better yet, before the week starts, the better I will feel during the day. I have gotten into the habit, today's a Sunday, generally around Saturday night, Sunday, sometimes before church, I like to sit in front of my planner and I like to go, what do we have going on this week? And I mean, clearly you probably already have things in your planner, but what do we have going on this week? What is my husband's schedule? Where do my children need to be? What could we have for dinner? What activities are we going to be gone? So then I don't have to I'm making sure I'm planning a meal that's appropriate for when we're going to be home. Oh, okay. So it's like I get all of the personal things out. Like what house chores do I want to think about? Like what needs to get done in the house? Like I will win zero awards keeping a tidy house. I love the idea of housekeeping, but I am nah. Uh anyway, so I think about all the things that need to be done there, and then I'll switch to business. What clients do I need to get called back? What products do I need to order? And then, so when I kind of said earlier, you probably already have a system going on. Now you get to that's a system. Sitting down in front of your planner, kind of forecasting what's going on, that is a system, you know. And the more you do it, the more you build evidence that you can be consistent. So let's kind of take this into the salon. So I want to talk about what we carry mentally as hairdressers. Appointment timing, client referrals, formulas, processing time, products, reschedules. That's like the business. Okay. So cleaning your space, promoting your business, potentially email marketing, newsletters, keeping up with your client base, right? Maybe we're kind of in a season of like, gosh, I need to work on my business. Gosh, I need to get more clients in. Or maybe you have too many clients. So then you also are a human and you have to think about meals, water, like cleaning up your like studio. I already said that. And then family life. I every hairdresser out there also has a family, whether you have a mom or a dad or a sibling or a partner or children or a dog, you have other people that you are also taking care of. So we're also thinking about those things. So without system, everything becomes a decision. You stay in reaction mode. That stress builds faster. How many times do you think, oh my gosh, I need to get dog food. I need to get dog food. I need to get dog food. I like to write that down. When am I going to get dog food? Okay. Small things feel bigger than what they really are. And this can sometimes systems like the noise that lives in our brains, sometimes that can even just translate more into, it can also become like decision fatigue where it's like, well, I really want a meal plan, but I don't have any containers, so I can't do that. And then you kind of get hyper fixated on the things that you don't have instead of like, well, maybe I could clean out my refrigerator. I mean, I've done that before. So like if you've done that before, let's be friends on Instagram because I want to know I'm not alone. But like also too, I mean, like duh, I can't meal plan if I don't have those cute aesthetic containers. Actually, go clean out your refrigerator. You probably have some in there. That's my real life experience. Okay. So like a lot of exhaustion behind this chair is not just physical, it's mental. It's seeing some like one of the mental loads that I'm carrying right now is that I really want to update my haircut skills. Gosh, I follow that Jacob Kahn. Is it Jacob Kahn? Am I saying his name right? I'm going to say this and it's not weird at all, but it is weird. I had a dream that Jacob Kahn was in my town at like a salon across the street. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's down there across the street. Why are we over here? We need to go learn from him, right? Like I live in small town Indiana. Okay. Like so I really want to work on my haircut skills. I also really like Jane Matthews. Gosh, the way they cut and use a razor and then Emily Chan. Like I look at her. So it's like then you're inundated with all of the things that you see online and you're like, I want to try that. I want to try that. I want to try that. It's living in your head. You saved it on Instagram, but are you actually going to go back into your saved things and try that on a client? I mean, maybe I do that. I will look at when I see content that's done behind the chair and I'm like, that's cool. I'll try to be like, who could I maybe try that on? And I mean, that's pretty loose. Like I'll see it and then I'll reference it, and then I'll kind of tell my client in the consultation, oh, I saw this haircut today. I thought it would be super cute for you. And then that makes them feel good. But it's the constant thinking, remembering, adjusting, and responding, that system overload. Man, I've been talking for 15 minutes and I'm like, sorry, I'm not even a thing. Okay. So systems help lower the load. They give your day structure. So you're not reinventing every decision all the time. It is true that human beings only have so many decisions that they can make in one day, you know, only. And so if we can automate these decisions, whoo, how great would that be? Okay. So system number one, pre-shift system. So how many of us are starting our day okay, if I have to be at work at 10 and I need to leave, so I need to leave 9:30. So then you're going to get up at 8:30. Like how are we getting up or are we getting up earlier than our day? Okay. So the how you start your day matters. I really like to get up at 5:30. I am probably not doing much between 5:30 whenever I need to start getting ready, but I could use that time. Ultimately, I would like to get up at 5:30 and immediately work out. 5:30, make my coffee, go work out, then drink my coffee and eat my breakfast. That's how I want to start my day. We're not there yet. this is a process, not perfection. Okay. So instead of like walking into your day scattered, we need to this is a great place to start to get some simple, repeatable setup routines. So it could include checking your schedule. What are we having for breakfast? What services are coming up? Like what do we got going on? Honestly, you could kind of this like checking your schedule could be done like once a week, a couple times a week, like maybe that like a few days at a time. So you can kind of know what you need. Do I need to get an order in? Okay. That's one of the things I like to do in like once a week when am I ordering? Okay. It could be filling up your water bottle the night before. So then you have water. That a wall is going to stay cold. Okay. It could be placing your snacks or your lunch where you can grab it. It could be putting your darn car keys in the refrigerator so you know to grab your lunch. No shame in that. It's not going to hurt your key fob because I know it's happened where you've made a lunch, you've prepped it, but if you're not in the habit of bringing a lunch or any kind of food, you're probably going to forget it. So it could be putting your keys in the refrigerator the night before. So then you know exactly, oh, shoot, I cannot leave until I get my lunch, right? It could be taking 30 seconds to breathe before your first client. Okay. A couple things like once a week, I like to tidy up my closet, usually on Sundays, Sunday morning, Sunday evenings, like to tidy up my closet so I know I'm not like, I don't, my wardrobe is pretty basic, but then at least I know where my clothes are. I'm not starting the week digging through piles. I do not like it when that happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. When I notice, like, okay, I've said this before in the podcast, but like our thoughts determine how we feel. Feelings come from our thoughts. So if you are in your closet and you're like, I don't have anything to wear, I can't do good work, this isn't working, I need to buy new clothes, that's a thought and that creates a feeling. However, the moment that you go buy new clothes and you feel bad because you really didn't want to buy new clothes, it maybe wasn't in your budget, but then you're like, well, shoot, I put all my clothes away and now I have so many. It's a thought. So we need to bring ourselves like I'm digressing, but like what ways can we set ourselves up for success? Let me bring that down. So it's like a calm start protects your whole day. And this is like, okay, I work from home. This is like my home studio. But even that I work from home, I want to be in my studio 20 minutes before. I really like to be in here 30 minutes before my first client arrives. I want to. I want to set up my space. I want to get my TV on. I like to have a TV in the salon. Do you know how much less talking you have to do because you have a TV in your salon? I mean, we still, yeah, but like you can have a TV on and then now the TV can become a subject of like, what are we watching? What's the show? Whatever. Anyway, your day usually does not get calmer as it goes on. So if we can start our day in a little bit more of a calmer state, bringing that nervous system down into a neutral thing, that is good. So pre-shift setup tells the body and the brain, we are prepared, we are supported, we are not behind. So even like 10 minutes of forethought can save you so much stress later. Another system that I do this, I ask this for my kids. So like we homeschool, so they don't really have to think about what they wear. Okay. Like we're just a bunch of ragamuffins around here. But Sundays when we go to church, I make them wear non-ragamuffin clothing. So on Saturday morning, I finally was like, there was so much tension about like, oh my gosh, you have to wear jeans. Mom, I can't wear jeans. Literally. Whose children can't wear jeans? I am concerned about this, but that again, I digress. So on Saturday morning, I started saying, hey, just so everyone knows, tomorrow's Sunday. Do I need to wash any pants for you? And then like by the afternoon, hey, tomorrow's Sunday morning. What are we going to wear? And then I start getting them figured out, like systems. Okay. I get that's a lot on me, but hey, it does. Now we don't like now they just kind of know what's going on. Okay. 10 minutes of forethought can save so much stress later. And I like to get all this stuff out of my brain, you know, because my brain is busy. Anyway, okay, so system number 2 is a consultation system. I do love a good consultation. When I am in the salon, I have a rolly chair. My space is not that big. I have my salon chair, shampoo chair, and I have a stool. And every time I see somebody, they sit down, I sit down, and I look at them with eye level. Do you know why I sit down? So I can sit down. There is no magic sauce here. Also, too, if you're at this stage in my game, I'm not necessarily meeting new new clients, but like when you are sitting, like there's scientific evidence and I can do like a whole concept about rapport. Like if you sit down, say you have somebody that comes in and like their vibe is just like not the same. And you're like, oh my gosh, this person's vibe is just like, I don't know. Well, instead of sitting at them and like looking in the mirror, like talking behind them, sit down. Look them like if they cross their legs, you cross your legs. If they pull out their phone and start looking, you kind of just like lean in a little bit more. Okay. Like you're kind of mirroring what they're doing. This puts the client in a more relaxed state. It's like rapport mirroring what they're doing. They cross their legs, you cross your legs. They kind of like put their hands like around, because I think there's nothing more vulnerable than the salon chair. The salon chair is like really vulnerable. I'm rambling. So like if they put their arms like in front of their body, like you putting your arms in front of your body can kind of like up. And then when they're more relaxed, you can ask better questions. Avoid missed expectations. Okay. Feeling more confident. And then by sitting down, it puts your nervous system in check. I'll even sit down and literally breathe just like that in front of my people. Like I'll kind of like rub if it's a really been a long day. I'll find myself subconsciously like rubbing the tops of my like legs, my quads, my hammies, or I'll like pull my shoulders in and I'll kind of I'll move around a little bit because I mean I'm not a tree. Like I'm just sitting here or standing sometimes and you got to move your body. So you can like tell me about your hair. What's the service that you love the most? You know, tell me like one of my favorite consultations, especially when I was building, was like, what point in your life did you have your most favorite haircut? Some great consultation questions is like, how did things work last time? Is there anything we want to do differently? What are we thinking for today? I do, always, I mean, I feel like this is pretty, obviously like, tell me about your styling routine, people, it's like any specific styling products. Like if we want more like topics on consultations, like, I can give you those. But and especially also too, like in the beginning when I was building, I would like write that down on a piece of paper. I suppose I could probably use my tablet now. That'd be pretty bougie. But anyway, so because then it's like you're building, you're really building good rapport by having a good consultation. But the biggest part about that is like grab a stool, sit down, look at them in the face, look them in the eye, because you get to sit down. And that's what we want. Okay. So a consultation, obviously it reduces like second guessing. A big key, I almost forgot in the consultation is what's your beauty budget for today? What are we thinking? Now, I will not ever say that I am good with charging people money. Like that is a big skill that I have learned to overcome. And it still stresses me out to this day because I'm human and that's not my strong suit. Like I've worked with girls and even when I had like team members, they just were like, yeah, it's this much, whatever. They didn't care. So I think that is like a personal, like that's a personality trait that some people are good at that. And some people need a little bit of confidence builder by asking and like quoting in the service before, especially as the new client, what's our beauty budget today? Then you don't have to be like, uh, worried about that the whole entire time you're doing their hair. Oh my gosh, this is expensive. Like, oh, we're doing a full foil today. Like maybe you have time. Well, your partial foil might be 150, but your full foil might be 215. and you're like, well, shoot, I didn't tell them that, and then you get up front and you're like, 65. I know I'm not the only one that's done that. Anyway, when our consultations are rushed or inconsistent, it creates more mental stress. But when you have a simple way to walk people through the service, you don't have to rely on memory or vibes. You have a process. Okay. So it improves both your energy, your professionalism, your rapport. It helps you you're not second guessing. Okay. So number 3, having a fuel and hydration system. Okay. So we need a plan. All right. If you've been hanging out with me long enough, we need a plan for eating and drinking at work. I guarantee you, if you are working more than 3 hours in the salon, you are going to get hungry. What are we going to eat? That's what I think about on Sunday nights or not Sunday nights, Saturday nights. Whew, man, I'm in my 40s, a wild Saturday night at home, planning out my week. Took me a long time to get here and I'm proud of it. Anyway, most hairdressers are not failing at food because they do not care. We just don't have a system. So going back to your morning, and part of my framework that I coach to is that you need to have like an anchor meal. And what that is, which I'm working on like a little bit more detail to that, but it's like food before you start work, a meal, 30 grams, 40 grams of protein before you start work. Okay. Eat one real meal before your shift. Bring your lunch or a stabilizing snack, and then some backup fuel from when you're done to like your drive home. Because sometimes it's like, okay, well, at 3:00, you're crashing, you're hungry. Because like if you ate at noon, by 3, you are probably hungry. Definitely by 4. So you're probably shampooing at 4:00 if you're done by 5. You're still going to be hungry. That's too far. And then once your blood sugar crashes, then you're crashed. You're done. You're wiped out. Okay. So pair all of this with water throughout your day. A visible water bottle is always helpful. Supportive eating does not happen by accident. You got to plan for it. But we can do that. And a plan doesn't have to be elaborate, but it's just got to be a part of your system. What will I eat while I'm at work? Yeah. So, I mean, the salon life will take the best of you if we don't build in ways to support yourself. Okay. And one of those biggest places that shows up is food, because we're hairdressers. Like we don't, I mean, I've been at this for, 23 years. What year is this? I don't even know. I've been at this a while. And honestly, in the last 2, 3 years, I've really been making the attempt to what am I eating? When am I eating? I work in my house and I still book out a lunch break. Okay. Because I'm better. I like myself more when I feed myself. Okay. So if there's no plan, we're going to end up underfueled, grumpy, crashing, overstimulated. We're tired and we're hungry. Okay. So it's just, we don't need to do that. We got to eat. The solution to this is eating. So, um, number 4, a between client reset system. Okay. So we do very much schedule our appointments back to back. It's just kind of how it is. But when you really get into the nitty gritty, how long something takes, that's a lot to do it without running behind. I mean, if you think about you have a new client, let's just say it takes you book out 3 hours to do timing is so different for everyone. So we can't just, okay, let's just say a haircut, right? 1 hour haircut. But if you do a 15-minute consultation, now you have 45 minutes. So then you shampoo. And then once you get that hair wet, you're like, shoot, they got more hair than I thought. And then it's like super kind of wavy. You're like, oh, dang. Oh, man, I'm going to have to round brush this. So then you got 35 minutes. I mean, and it's like cutting and then blow drying. And you're like, oh my gosh, this hour haircut's now an hour and 15 minutes. And then you got to check them out, right? So go ahead and book a reset system between those clients in there. Just kidding. Nothing like a little salt on the wounds. Setting our books up realistically. And you could start with this. I know the whole point of this is like between client, like reset system, but maybe you need to audit your books. Maybe we need to really do a time audit to see, okay, how long does it take me to do a haircut? And then if you really stress out about pricing, maybe you get to determine what you want for your pricing. I'm not going to say that there's one way and only one way, but like if I'm cutting Barbara's hair and she has a short pixie and it does not take me an hour to cut her hair, I don't charge her the same as Kelly, who has smoothed out hair and it's curly underneath and it takes me an hour and 15. Like I don't want to do that. And I say that in a way because when you work for yourself, you get to choose. And it's not like you're emotionally discounting, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. But like, if that's your system of you have a quicker haircut versus a longer haircut, then that's your system. Okay. So this between client reset system, it might just start with a book audit, which maybe you need outside thoughts to go through there. Okay. But it might look like cleaning, reset your station, taking some breaths. You got to sweep between each client. You got to reset your station, clean your brushes, get rid of, wipe down your chair, not dispose, but like put your dirty towels in a bin. Like those that like we can downgrade our nervous system while doing other things. Okay. Like, but being aware of your shoulder, your tension, your jaw, all of these things, like these tiny little resets do matter more than people think. They are going to help. So we can, if your schedule is so packed that you don't have time to do this, that's one thing. But if your schedule is like, okay, it's busy and you're just so tense by the end of the day, like, we can habit stack this. Slow, deep breaths while you're sweeping up hair. I like kind of posted on Instagram, like, I will use my shampoo time as a way to almost like reset my shoulders, slow my breathing down. Sometimes I wish my stool was closer so I could sit while I'm shampooing, and there's no reason why you can't. Okay. So, little resets in your day. It's going to help downgrade your nervous system so you're not amped up the entire day. Because it's like the amped is the adrenaline, it's the cortisol that your body is like being flooded with all day long. And when that backs off, that's what makes you feel wiped. Number 5, an end of day shutdown routine. Okay. How we end our work kind of affects how we feel at home. Now, if you've gotten too hungry and you leave work, you're going to still be hungrier at home. And my go-to, which I still sometimes struggle with, and not that it's like bad, it's just I don't like how it makes me feel, is like you get so hungry that nothing sounds good. So then you just eat some cereal and you kind of zone out for a while. And then the cereal makes you even sleepier because it's so much sugar in your system in such a short amount of time that then you're like, man, then you're done. Okay. So in your day with a shutdown system in the salon, so you can go home and give to your family because that's why we do what we do. We work to earn an income to then spend time with your family. Okay. So your shutdown ideas would be tidying up your salon fully. Obviously kind of this ties into like your system, like your tiny resets, but write down your notes, anything that you need to remember while you're doing that. You could be rolling your shoulders. We could be building this into your schedule. Again, a time audit. Man, I think I like nailed something there where shutting down is just as important as like getting started. Um, Having like checking your schedule for tomorrow, making sure you have everything you need, tidying up your salon to the best of your ability. Okay. and having like a transition ritual before leaving. Okay. Drinking some water, taking some breaths, kind of bending your legs, right? Like I do love a good forward fold. Sometimes when I get home, I like to immediately change my clothes. Not always. I'm a pretty big apron wearer, but like I will drink water. I'll usually pour a big glass of water, or then I'll just start like I'll usually drink like, my electrolyte drink. And then if I'm really, really like my body really hurts, I'll do like what they call like legs up the wall, which is kind of a yoga posture, but you literally just lay on the floor and put your legs like 90 degrees at the wall. And then what that does is it recirculates, like I mean, our heart pumps our blood all through our body, but like I mean, our legs are down low. That's one of the things like why either cold plunging or saunas are so popular right now because it's a way to like recirculate. It's recirculating all of the body. Like, okay. So the goal for this is like closing the loop. It helps your nervous system like shift out of work mode. So like if you ever leave and your body, like your body leaves work, but your brain doesn't, this is a good way to kind of, all right, I'm done with work now. And then you kind of, it's a good system, right? This is going to look different for everyone. But what we don't want is just kind of, oh my gosh, I just ran a marathon, which you did. And then you go home or you sit in your car like forever and you're just kind of zoned out, or you just end up scrolling and you're like, oh my gosh, how did 90 minutes go by? And then you're like, wow, I'm even more hungry. Okay. So we're just creating closure instead of carrying everything home, which is good. We want that. Okay. We're going to wrap this up. So if your salon day feels harder than what it needs to be, or you want it to be, or you're just kind of like, man, I need to change how I work. I want you to hear this. You may not need more discipline. You just need support. And sometimes you need extra eyes on what's going on. So this systems are support. They help you conserve your energy. They reduce decision fatigue. Say that 3 times fast. We're going to reduce stress. We're going to create a workday that feels more sustainable. And you do not have to build all 5 of these things at once. All right. Just start with one and then notice, how did that make me feel? And then one system that makes your next shift feel a little easier. So I chatted quite a bit there. So this is good. So as you like finish this episode, ask yourself, what is one part of my salon day that always feels so chaotic? And then I'll tell you, that's probably where your next steps need to be. If you don't know where your salon steps feel chaotic, let me know. We can chat. We can figure it out. We can do a little energy audit to see what's going on in your body. So pick one thing, either your morning setup, your lunch, your consultations, a little reset between clients, a nice deep breath. You can start there. Hairdressing does ask a lot of you, but the answer is to not keep expecting yourself to push harder and expecting yourself to do more and take on more. The answer is to build support into the way you work. So this is what salon systems do. They protect your energy. And if this episode helps you, send it to another hairdresser who's tired of feeling like this every day. It's a scramble. So I am here for you. You do not have to do this alone. And I hope this episode was helpful. So yeah, this has been fun. It's been fun to talk about lives in the salon. So there we go. You will find me next week. We'll talk. I think we're going to talk more about the salon life. I've been having fun with this. So anyway, I hope everyone has a great afternoon and I'm here for you.